Welcome to our new global media talk show. Today is November 30th, 2025. Today we have our guest here, Hatab Jaiteh, who is going to be speaking on the preparation of front, change front political movement ahead of 2026 election in the Gambia. I'm your host here, Momodou Sawaneh in New York, and I have my co-host Sam Ceesay in Indiana. Sam, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. Atab, we're gonna invite you today. We invite you today to speak about, the the preparation of the Change Front political movement ahead of 2026. Are you the spokesperson for this political party? So you can give us a little bit insight how the party came about, what are the plans for the Gambian, and why your party is different from others, and why should we voters vote for you instead of other parties? And if we are open to coalitions as well, and what are the main agendas of the party? So, Atab, you can introduce yourself, and you can just jump right in. Can you hear us? We cannot see your face actually. Your camera also moved a
Yes,
little
I
bit.
can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Momodou Esware and Sam Ceesay. Thank you. If I'm to introduce myself, my name is Hatab Jaiteh, a resident of Katong. Been the spokesperson for Change Front political movement. The movement comes about simply it's a ideology from the youths within West Coast region. We have seen the way and manner in which the present government or the ruling government, the way and manner it is handling things, definitely we are not happy about it. And we see to it that there is a need for change in the leadership, because in the Gambia here, what we believe is that the Gambia doesn't have any problem. We only have one problem, one and only one problem. That is leadership problem. And we believe once that leadership problem is sorted out, everything will be in its place. So we have studied different political parties, their ideologies, their manifestos. We realize that the ideas that we are having is different from all of them. So thereby we know we can't join them, but rather that's the reason why we form our own political party. We have our policies, very good policies and programs, which we believe if we share those informations with the Gambian people, we believe Gambians will vote for us. And we believe if we come to power, we will be able to change this country. That's the motive behind the reason behind why we form this political party. Or movement, rather.
Okay. Is this a movement or political party at this point?
As at this moment, we do not register we do not register at the IEC, so we cannot call it a party. We can only call it a movement. But plans are on the pipeline to register it at the IEC as a political party. But as at this moment, it is a movement.
All right. That's good. And then what does the party stand for in terms of like like we said, the meaning as the meaning relates, what is the party stand for, and or how do you come about the name?
The name Change Front is simply as the word, I believe you understand what the word change means. To change simply means change of leadership. Front simply refers to a group of people with the same political ideology. So these are the two words that we join to form the word and the name Change Front.
Okay, because it's kind of like a little different from other parties that were formed in the Gambia. We see some parties will be saying, Democratic Party associated with something with, either democracy or People's Party or stuff like that. But now yours is saying that change front. So that's why I asked. Very good. Now, what make your political movement? It's not a party yet, different from others because there are other ones that are probably a similar. Keep coming out. There are other parties that are probably similar agenda or similar philosophy is of yours. Why is yours different? Why couldn't you join them or even join in, making alliance with other parties instead of creating your own movement?
Unlike other political parties or political movements, we believe our ideologies are different from theirs.
Yeah, you can move your head up a little bit so
Because, like, most of them, if you
we can
study
see
their
you. Your camera
manifestos,
went down a little bit. If you can move it, yeah, okay.
yeah, most of them, if you study their manifestos, you will realize that there are a lot of sectors in the government that they do not even touch. So,
Okay,
and most of them, they only focus on only a tiny fraction of the sectors of government. But we believe in Onga, if one is to bring changes in Onga, to be sincere, you have to touch at all the sectors of government. So that's one difference between us and they.
okay. And then what other differences that somebody might want to join you guys or the need for you guys to be formed?
Pardon?
What other differences the need for somebody to join your group instead of joining others or the need for your group to be formed?
One of the difference between us and other political parties or movement is that in Amga, agriculture being the backbone of this country, most of this, you look study all these political parties, most of them, they have little or no nothing up for the side of agriculture, which we believe if Gambians can improve on our agriculture, we believe food shortage. We can be able to have plenty of food to the extent of even exporting the remaining food that we can be able to produce within the Gambia here. If we, as Gambians, if we have certain, we turn into mechanized farming, we believe the Gambia can produce with the River Gambia. The Gambia can produce enough rice that will be enough for Gambia, and to the extent that we can be able to export some of them. So, but like if you look at the manifestos of all other political parties, starting with the ruling party NPP, coming to UDP and all other political parties, most of them they do not talk about that side at all. So yet we feel that even if other political parties, even if they come to power, still the status quo is going to remain the same.
So agriculture is one, and what other
Yeah,
areas?
agriculture is one aspect. Agriculture is one aspect, and the other aspect is that in Nomga, I have not even seen one political party or political movement that talks about civic education. We all know that in the Gambia here, at one time we have what we call civic education, but the council now we can say that is almost dead or is not functioning. So we believe that civic education is one of the things that can make enlightened Gambians to know their rights and their privileges and their responsibilities. With that knowledge, I believe where Gambians can be able to, despite our political differences, we can be able to work together as one nation. So, but if you look at the manifesto of all other political parties, you will not see anything of that nature there. So that's another difference between us and other
That's a
political
difference.
parties.
That's a deal breaker. That's a
Okay.
difference that you guys have that others don't. Okay, but I'm pretty sure there are other ones that you are, maybe electoral reform and other things that other parties have mentioned before or have stood for, which is maybe fighting corruption and all of that. So, but beside civic education, is there any particular thing? We don't have to go through all of those because those are similarities. Some of them will be similarities. But is there any other one in your mind that you think is unique difference between your party and the other parties?
Yeah, one of the main difference between our political movement and other political parties or movement is that we will be more focused on the health sector. If you look at study all these other political parties or movement, you will not see any of them that's focused more on on the health sector. In the Gambia, yeah, the health sector should be at least more focus should be done on the health sector than any other sector. But it's rather unfortunate that the health sector is being ignored by the present government and all other political parties or movements, the oppositions in Omga, none of them is talking about it. And my brother, to be sincere to you people in Omga, every day, whether you know it or not, so many Gambians are dying. So many Gambians are dying simply because we have very, very, very poor healthcare system. So our movement believe if we come to power, we are going to focus on that sector and improve it to the best of our knowledge and ability.
Okay. So far, those are the areas of differences, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to that. Um, Now give us a little bit synopsis of your party. How did it come to formation, and who is the leader? And then what is your preparation for 2026?
Okay. As I said earlier, the Change Front political movement is formed by youths. Most of those youths are residents of West Coast region. As I said earlier, we realize that the way the country is going, or the way the present government is taking this country, where we are heading to, something need to be done. So as a result of that, we come together to form the movement. Yeah, their president or the head of the movement is Suleiman Wan. Suleiman Wan, originally from the Central River region, but is residing in Combo here.
Okay. And then what is your preparation for 2026?
Yeah, preparations are geared. We cannot, as at this moment, we can't go for campaign, but at least we are doing consultation, which we are almost every day we are doing consultation. Thank God that as at this moment, there is no district in this country, or consequently in this country, where we do not have a coordinator there. Across the length and breadth of this country, we have coordinators everywhere. And I can say, most of them are doing a good job there. So every now and then, at least once in a week, we must go, we must be called by some one or two villages, for us to go there and at least to have a consultation meeting with them. But as at this moment, we cannot do meetings at Bantaba or open places or public places. We can only do it within the confinement of a compound. But every week, there's no week that we will not go for consultation meeting. So we believe the number of people we are attracting with time, we will be able to challenge the sitting government. And probably we can be able to unseat him come 2026, December 2026.
That's what everybody says, but we will take it like that. On the government, every political party's aim is that. Now, a consultation, you are almost 1 year away from the election. If the consultation is still happening, and then there's no framework for the political party, that means you guys are likely not to be on the ballot because we don't even know if you're gonna meet the requirements in terms of the signatures, in terms of all the other requirements. Since now you are in the consultation phase, so that means you probably might not make it to the ballot box.
No, we will. We don't have any doubt about that. We will make it. Simply because the signatures that you are talking about, there is no region here where we will not be able to get 10,000 signatures. There is, as at this moment, there is no region in the Gambia where we will not get 10,000 signatures.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. And then finally, before I let my co-host comes in, um, the your political party, like I said, there are maybe 20 something or close to 30 political parties that are in either being formed or are in the process of forming, or movement I might call them, including United Movement for Change, which is UMC. Why is it necessary for you guys to establish your own party while you can join? Yeah, you might have commonalities with these parties, you might have similarities, you might be all youths. Why go ahead and then form another addition to our electoral, give them another things task to do by dealing with another party, while you can merge with some of these parties that you probably have similarities or demographic similarities with.
Yeah, but we have some similarities with almost all political parties or movements, but there are also differences, and I believe the differences overweigh the similarities. We have a lot of difference. My bro, most of these politicians who are talking, I do not honestly believe that they can be able to transform this government, this country. Because, like, if they are, you listen to them, most of them they are ignoring key sectors. So you cannot transform a country by ignoring key sectors in government. One damn, let me tell you one thing. There I have never seen any political party or any political movement in this country that is talking about our minerals. That's the mining sector. Nobody is talking about that, and that's one point that's one area in which I can say, almost the level of corruption there is almost 100%. So something need to be done in that sector in order to correct whatever is happening there. The country is losing millions every day, whether you know it or not. Every day, 7 days a week, that this country is losing so many millions in that sector. And nobody, I've never seen even a single politician talking about it. So definitely we have a lot of difference, so many difference between us and other political parties or movement.
Okay. All right. So I will allow my co-host Sam Caesar to come. Sam, can you guys see me on the camera? Sam. Sam.
Yep. I was muted. Sorry, but
Yeah.
no, I can't see you. Your picture is not up. So yeah, your picture is not up. But
Okay. So let me know. I'm gonna play around with it. Let me know when it's up. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, but you can go ahead, because I
Yeah.
noticed that
Okay.
on the screen. Yeah.
Well, first, I want to thank our guests definitely for taking the time to join today's call, talk show. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you and all your efforts. Um, I'm going to dive into this. There are so many, like Dr. Sawaneh was saying, there are so many, not only political parties coming up in the Gambia, but different movements coming as well. Looks like you went down. Can you see? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, back. Okay, it's back on. The screen is back on. It's just that your picture is not there, Mr. Swanee, but him and I are up. But getting back to business, there are so many political parties in the Gambia, and also small movements are coming up. That's called movements that are coming up that have the same interest in politics. just that they've not registered with IEC yet, so they're called movement. I'm going to say this. Today, if anybody asks anyone, or you ask me, what is the number one problem in the Gambia? Why our country cannot move forward as fast as we should since independence? The number one problem will be corruption. Yes, and the other part that you mentioned, leadership. Yes, leadership is another issue. We don't have the right leadership. We don't always have the right leadership. But then when we talk about that leadership, yeah, now, Mr. Sawaneh, you're on the screen now. I
Okay,
can see
thank you.
you. Yeah, I can see you very well now. All right, so leadership is one thing, starting with the president and his cabinet, and going down to the National Assembly. National Assembly, of course, is divided based on political parties and political affiliations and things like that. All of them combined, I call them all the leadership of the country, because they are the people that the general public elected to put in office to rule the country for them, right? So if we don't see what we expect, well, we will blame it on the leaders. We will say we don't have the right leadership. That's why we're not going in the right direction. And don't get me wrong, there are some developments happening, but our developments are not prioritized. We have a lot of things that need to be prioritized before certain things, and that is not happening. And part of that, again, is leadership. Leadership is everything. Leaders have to have certain leadership skills to be able to rule a country. What is your group's focus on corruption? How are you guys going to, what is your plan in handling corruption? Because it's the number one issue that we have, is the number one reason why we are where we are today, instead of being way ahead of the game and compared to other countries that had independence about the same time as Gambia. But they left us all behind. They've all left us behind only because of corruption. Do you guys have plans? And what are your plans, if you do, in handling corruption?
Okay, thank you very much, Sam Ceesay.
Yep.
Yeah, we have so many plans to tackle or fight against corruption.
Okay.
But even Barrow government, one of the problem with Barrow government is that everyone, it's an open secret. Everybody knows that there is corruption in every sector of his government. But yet nobody is talking about it. Only few people are talking about corruption in social media. But apart from that, you can walk through the length and breadth of this country, you won't heard about people talking about corruption, which is very, very disheartening. We will fight corruption in so many ways, but one of them is to set an anti-corruption body that will look into the way and manner in which government institutions are run, and to see that everything that is being done by any institution in there is fair and transparency and accountability in whatever we are doing in any of the sectors of this government, of our government rather.
Okay. Yep. So thanks for that. So one thing that I hear from all these
Sam, are you
politicians
there?
in the country. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay. So one thing I hear from all the politicians in the country, everybody talks about corruption.
Yep.
But what I have not heard specifically is, how do you handle that corruption? I have not seen anybody that has a plan for it, other than anti-corruption. Anti-corruption bill has been passed, I believe. And in Gambia, as we all know, even the law enforcement officers are breaking the law. The people that are supposed to enforce the policies and procedures and the laws are people that are neglecting to do their jobs, and also breaking the laws. So So I don't know that an anti-corruption policy or bill alone can fight the corruption, because we have other bills. We have a lot of things in the country. We have a lot of rules and regulations in our constitution that are not being followed. Why would people follow the anti-corruption bill? So what is your take on that? How are you guys going to handle that part so that you can be different from all the political parties? Because like I said, I have not heard anybody specifically saying exactly what they're going to do, because corruption is our biggest problem. If we have any movement or political party coming that does not have a specific agenda and explain to the taxpayers what they're going to do to stop corruption, it's going to be a little difficult. It's going to be difficult because we can't be hearing the same old story. We're going to fight corruption. We're going to fight corruption. We're going to fight corruption, but nobody is telling us how are they going to fight the corruption. So that's my take on that. And then of course, if we look at Gambia, we all know there's a lot of problems. I just mentioned corruption as the number one problem. Is our number one problem that started since independence. It went from President Jawahar's time. There was corruption in there. It got worse when Jammeh came in. It got worse when Baroque came in. So it's continuing to get worse instead of getting better, right? So I look at that as a big issue for us, really a huge issue for us. But what about the other sectors like healthcare? Healthcare, what are you guys' plan in handling healthcare in general?
Okay, thank you very much, Sam Ceesay. I've heard about what you said. About corruption, definitely, if one want to have, one has to stop corruption. First of all, you need to improve the earning or the earning of the people. Most of the people who are corrupt, if you look at them, their expenditures are always more than their source of their income. So obviously, this, although it will not force anyone to go into corruption, but this is what is forcing most Gambians to go into corruption. So before one can stop corruption, one need to improve the income of each and every individual working for the government. After improving people's income, then strict laws can be made to that anyone who is being found wanting for corruption, obviously this and this are will be the penalties of such individuals. And it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that such laws are enforced. When we come to power, those are the kind of things that we're gonna do. Anti-corruption, these things must be enforced. Anyone who is found wanting must be punished by the law. When you come to health sector, the problem with Gambian health sector is that I think I said earlier, there is poor leadership. I'll just give you an example. At one time, this is almost about a few years ago, when that Indian syrup, was on our hospitals, and children were taking them, and all of them or most of them die as a result of that syrup. Gambians were worried. But what happened was that, the government, sorry. Now, what happened was, the Ministry of Health, the Minister of Health came in, interfered, but he interfered at a time when already so many kids have already died. Over 60 plus children have died already. That was why the ministry interfered. And when the government, the president came, the president was saying that he was thanking the ministry or the minister for interfering, and he, without not even feeling or paying condolence to the families of the babies who has passed away. So In my understanding, the health sector, the leader or the president and the person who is in charge of the health sector does not value the lives of Gambians. Today, if you go to any hospital, there's no Gambian who will go to any Gambian hospital where he or she will be diagnosed. After diagnosis, he will be given all the necessary medicines for to be treated. In the Gambia here, what we know is that if you go to the hospital to just know the disease or the sickness you are suffering from, that's to get diagnosis. Well, the moment you get diagnosed, what happens next is your own responsibility to go to the pharmacy and buy medication for yourself. So where are the medications that are distributed? The medications that are distributed within all the hospitals and health centers within this country. Usually, the health workers will be the very people who will steal those things and then take them to their own pharmacies and resell them and sell them to to their fellow countrymen or Gambians. So those are the kind of things when we the health sector. Those are the kind of things that we will first, when we come to power. Those are the kind of things we will first tackle to make sure that any medication that is meant for the public should be used by the public. No one individual should take any medication from the hospital and take it to your personal pharmacy.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Sawaneh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to interject here. This is a common practice that he just mentioned about the hospitals. Um, the manner is that we have this elephant. I mean, the president is building these elephant projects, like building hospitals, and doing other, constructions. But the fact of the matter is, the operational, the operation, the people who manage those are stealing. That's what he's mentioning. Those products, like the medicines that comes for the general public, has been taken from the hospitals and used by individuals who are managing them. So again, this comes down to leadership issue that he first mentioned, which is we don't have the right leadership in place who would make sure that these corruptive acts are all, you know, disciplined or are all stopped but uh, through laws. I mean, like through enforcement of, laws out in our country. So if people
You,
are going to the hospital and then they're finding out there's no medicine, yeah, you can get diagnosed. That's easy. But if there's no medicine to be given to these poor people who cannot afford it, now what is the point? You go to these individual pharmacies, then now the money you're gonna pay for these medicines will be higher, and then at the end of the day, you might probably be giving your wrong medicine. That would even make the situation worse. So in the health sector, like he said, there's a lot of deficiency there, but I don't know what they can do. The root cause here, the elephant in the house, is the corruption. The manner in is like a system we have in our country that need to be challenged, that need to be you know uprooted. Without that, all the other sectors will still be non-functional. We can sit here the whole day and say agriculture are not getting this, fertilizers and so forth, all bound down to people. Our people are the one who is doing the bad things to ourselves. So the sickness is viral. It's all over the place. Now, how does this political party uproot or cure this sickness? Well, that's what I'm expecting from our guest. He has to come up with a game plan. How are we gonna get to the root cause of that? Instead of even worried about one area, it's happening all other sectors. Are
and
they gonna start, putting in place a system where they're gonna discipline all the officials, and take them to court or send them to, mile two if they are caught, instead of maslahaing, or instead of, covering up for political gain? Are they gonna be the same way like this government is doing, or are they
Mr.
gonna be? Yeah,
Dr.
but
Suare,
yes,
You made mention of one thing. I think I have to come in.
Yeah,
That
come
is
in. We are conversating. Come in.
prosecuting.
Uh-huh.
I'm prosecuting those who are at fault. You see, the
Yeah.
Gambia, almost every sector you can think of, is there is a fault there. You see, we are talking about the health sector, but if you go to the judiciary also, you realize that in fact the judiciary is more handicapped than even the health sector. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The judiciary is more handicapped. There is more corruption in the judiciary than even in the health sector.
Okay.
Imagine, yeah,
Hmm.
now that's the reality. Gambia here, you take somebody will do something horrible, which in fact the length of the period, I'm sorry, the duration of going to court in Omga, which should not even take more than 5 months. It will take 2, 3, 4 years before the case is been, at least the judgment is been passed. So it's like, what I realized personally, what I realized in the judiciary system is that, anybody who is found wanting, you take the person to court in Omga. Obviously, this what you will make there is that they will discourage you of even taking someone to court again. Because someone who has done a fault here, it will take you another 5 years before you can get what you want.
Right.
And how many people are working in the judiciary? There are so many of them. So why is it that so cases, more especially cases that the government or the the government or the prosec the government or the magistrate or the judges, any case that they do not have any interest in it, that such cases, will be dragged over and over and for so many years. Probably it will go up to a certain point that the person who take the case to court may even be discouraged and leave the case there like that. I have seen so many of that.
Some.
Someone will be
Some.
at fault, you take the individual to court, and because the case has been keep on dragging for so long, you end up ignoring the court. Both the accused and the complainant, none of them will be present at the court when the case is being called, because the complainant is totally discouraged about the way and manner the case is going. So the judiciary is even more poorer than the health sector.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So how do you now? We are having all these problems in all this across the board. How is your movement? What is the game plan you have to make sure that Gambians, all these sectors could be more efficient and more effective in what they do, and making sure that people can get what they want, the basic needs.
Thank you, Mr. Suare. Gambia here. One of our problem is discipline. There is, it's hard to say, but that's the reality. There is indiscipline in every department. So when we come to power, we will do everything humanly possible to make sure that we impose discipline in all the sectors of the government.
But how?
My friend, you are being employed by the government and you are being paid. So obviously, if you're asked to do a job, you fail to do that job, what do you expect? There are 1,001 Gambians that are waiting on the line. So if you are being paid for something and you are not doing it, you will be warned, and then the next phone call, you will be fired.
Okay. And then those who are found guilty of corruption or mishaps, what would you do to them?
Obviously, they will be prosecuted and then be taken to mile two. If you are found wanted, definitely you have to face the penalty.
And that
We will
the
fight.
cover-ups
We
or
will
political.
fight in discipline when we come into power.
Okay. So the cover-ups or trying to make people becoming a people pleaser just for political gain will all disappear in your movement when you guys come to power.
Yeah, when we come to power, obviously, if you are to support us, you will support us for the sake of Gambia. You are not going to support us just for what, just to be for us to be letting you do illegal things. It's just sad. It's very, very sad that the other time in Omga, the NPP chairman here for West Coast region, My brother, it's so disappointing if you see the kind of things he is doing and he's getting away with it. This just I just can't believe. He's doing horrible things, unimaginable things. And he's going away with it. Nothing, no punishment is being put on him. The police are afraid of him. The police
What
are
is he
afraid of
doing?
him.
What is he doing?
Pardon?
What exactly is he doing that's illegal?
He's doing illegal mining. He's doing illegal mining, and to be sincere, the Nomga mine anything that is being mined in the Gambia does not belong to any particular villages or towns or individuals. It belongs to the whole country. Our minerals found in this country belong to every Gambian. So no single individual, because of your political position, you are illegally mining it. The government is aware of it. The police are aware of it. The court is aware of it. Can you imagine? He has been taken to court. Can you imagine? The DPP is the very one who come and stand for him to be free. So what is happening in this country? Some of the things are just so horrible. Someone doing an illegal act, and the police cannot prosecute him. Individuals take it upon themselves and prosecute him. The DPP come and stand for the one who is doing the legal act, and he free him. And he still continue up to now, as I'm talking to you, he's still doing it. So what kind of government do we have?
Sick, I will call it. For that
It's
to
sad.
happen, yeah.
It's sad. It's sad to see such things happening because no one is above the law.
Exactly.
Everyone must be treated equally. So it all boils down to leadership. This is where I say leadership. Leadership has to put things in place that will prevent people from doing certain things, not just the word of mouth and not just putting laws out there and laws that are not being enforced, but take other actions and put preventive measures in place. Changing systems can help all of that. There are certain things that you can do. I'll give you one example. If I build a house, I'm just giving an example here, a random example. If I build a house and after building the house, I put a lot of merchandise in it. People go in and out, and things are missing out of there, and I don't know who is taking what. Well, if I want to change the system, I'm not just going to say, well, if you take something, here's a law. There's a new law. You take something, you will be prosecuted and put in prison. No, I'm going to put a lock in that place. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to change some other things that comes along with the law. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to hand the key to somebody and make that person responsible. Then I turn around and audit that person, right? To make sure frequent audit is happening, to see what is missing, when and how is it missing, and then take more preventive actions to close that loophole so that nothing is missing. So just by saying, putting laws together and then laws to be enforced and putting bills out to the National Assembly is not going to solve our problem. We've got to take some other actions that can solve our problem. But I understand what you're saying is it all boils to leadership. Leaders should know the answer to solving those problems. Yeah, there should be an answer to those problems or answers to those kinds of problems. And if you ask me, I will say arrest that person because he's breaking the law and go prosecute. Until then, he is banned from so and so and so and so place. Cannot go near. If he gets near that place, he get arrested with no bail, and then they put him behind the bars and wait for his his court decision. So that they've got to take measures against people that are deliberately doing things that are against the law. Because what happens is if somebody is doing something illegal and you let them get away with it, what are you going to do when somebody else start doing the same thing? Because if you go after that one, now you're not being fair. Why would you let this one go, but then you arrest this other one? So that's why leadership is about consistency. You've got to be consistent. So we need that kind of leadership in all areas. Those who cannot do that, they should be out. Yep, we should just get them out. So, but
So the
anyway, thank you
so
though.
the so the question is, could their leadership do that?
Yep.
Of course, our leadership will do that, and we will not even only do that, my bro. The kind of mismanagement, misuse of public fund in this country is too much. It's too much. Starting with the president. If the president is mismanaging and misusing public fund, what about his subordinates?
Yeah, that's a good
Look
question.
at the amount of money. Look at the amount of money that our president is using for independence celebration. Look at the amount of money that our president is using for Meet the People's Store. In a
Yeah,
poor country like the Gambia, our health sector is at 0%. Agriculture, 0%. Every other sector is at a very poor state. But yet our president will use so many millions for things that are unproductive or has no use for the Gambian people.
yeah.
So when our government, when we come into power, you don't need to spend 100 million for what 1 day independence. For what? What shall that profit Gambians? Spending over 60 millions on Meet the People's Store. And in doing so, you transform that Meet the People's Store, you transform it into a political rally. So what Gambians are losing 60 million, 60 plus million in Meet the People's Store. And at the end of the day, that toll also has no beneficial to the people of the Gambia. You ask any Gambian, what has this toll to? What is the benefit of this toll? It's an NPP rally. Imagine a president asking motorbike owners within Combo here to welcome him, and each of them is being paid $3,000. What kind of nonsense is that?
Now, what is the purpose of that?
Pardon?
What is the purpose of paying those people to welcome him? What is he getting out of that?
No, for him, so that people will say that he has crowd. Like here, there is always between the ruling party and the oppositions. There is what you call crowd competition. Who will get more crowd?
So
in other
words, he's buying popularity.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But
He must
what is
have a
the
lot of
benefit of
money.
that to
3,000,
Gambians when we are
3,000.
dying? When our women are dying in hospitals, why can't we divert such kind of money to those areas?
Now, the question I have on that: how factual are those, though? What is the data showing that those are correct?
Yeah. What you are asking me? What is the data? I am with people. I am with people who has left me and went in for that 3,000. I don't know, giving them 3,000 for them to welcome him. I am the same people living in the same community with those people. And before they go, when they were informed, I was aware of it. When they go, I was aware of it. When they come back again, they themselves even said the same thing. So that's how can I doubt such a thing when everything happened in my own present?
Okay, I just want to know, like, if you are eyewitness to it. So you are eyewitness to it.
I'm a living witness to it. Not only an
Okay.
eyewitness, but a living witness.
Okay. So my one, thank you. You've really been effective in really going directly, and that's very good. You are going directly to the evidence, or to the points that are really concerning our Gambians. And I know people who are on this show would really, 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 really enjoy what we are talking here. As far as you are identifying a lot of things that need to be fixed. Now, there is always a belief that talking is easy, and doing is harder. So every politicians, when they are given the space, they will come and say everything, out of the wall they could do. You know, Wahed Wahed. You know Wahed in Wolof? So, um, you know, how how practical are your plans? You know, if you guys get into that office, so that we will not have Wahed
My
sometimes.
brother, believe in me, although we have very, very, very good policies and programs,
Right.
and we believe if Gambians give us the chance until we get into that office within the shortest possible time, we believe we can change this country. We believe we can. Yeah, like the present government, I can say it, has no idea, little or no idea about what is even going on in certain sectors of the government. If you ask the president about what is going on in the fishery sector, my bro, he will not be able to tell you anything meaningful.
But why is
And when
that?
he called the minister, you well, like certain complaints that when you load those complaints to the minister, you will be surprised for the minister will say that this is the first time he is hearing it. All of them are comfortable sitting in their office without not even finding 1 or 2 days to at least visit the site where the practical aspect of things are done. So when we come into power, those are the kind of things we will make sure that anything, any sector, at least the individual in charge there will make sure he is always present on the ground to see things for himself. And from there, he or she will know what what action is needed to correct on whatever is not being done in that area. So that way we believe we can improve every sector.
Okay. Now, another idea, which is one time the president even acknowledged that he had to go around some of the areas that, some of the projects that he said he was disappointed in, because he lost connection, like, going there and finding out what they're doing, and when he went there, he was disappointed what had been taking place. So more action, more foot action. Uh, certainly not to micromanage everything. The president cannot micromanage everything, but you have to have good people in place. People who can really represent, and people who are efficient, are tested, and they have the integrity to do the works. In other words, to have the right people in the right places. We have seen that this government has not been doing that. Actually, they even moved somebody to, I don't know, defense or somewhere lately, who had no background of that. They move people, or they put people in places that's not even their line of work or line of study. So, in order to either award them for politically, or to compensate them for something. So we have seen the auditor general being want to move to another, I don't know, trade or somewhere ministry, which he didn't even want to take that position, because he was more effective as an auditor general. But because the president and his cabinet feels like they will not get what they want when the man, stayed in that position, they rather take him to somewhere that he has no clue. So this misplace of personnel, or putting people in the wrong places, results to some of the ineffectiveness and inefficiency in the way the government works. This is a typical operational protocol that we have seen since Jawara's time and Jammeh's time, and still happening. How do you guys manage that, to make sure that you put the most powerful output? How would you do that? And also, how would you go about bringing the right people, the qualified people, on board?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Suare. We believe if you are to be given any position, at least you should deserve it. It should not be a position based on. It should be based on merits, but not based on personal connections. In the Gambia here, most of the people who are holding these important positions, most of them do not get into those positions based on merits or their qualifications, but most of them through their connection. That issue of connection is what we're going to break down. Nobody should get any important position in our government, in our government, only because of connection. At least you should have the qualification and the integrity to hold the position. Also, not only your qualification, we before we giving you certain important positions, we need to make a background check of who you are, your past records. All those things are part and parcel of our manifesto. Nobody is going to hold any position without not scrutinizing you to the extent that nobody will question whether you are qualified or not. Every position, individuals will be given positions based on their qualification, their merit, and their integrity.
Okay, thank you. I'll let Sam to close us up. But one more thing I would want to say. I know they say that there's a statistically there is a data out there that there's no single party that can win election without coalition in the Gambia. I don't know how solid that data is. But in case that is something that you guys believe, are you looking to do coalition when you guys form your political party? And if you guys are open to coalition, are you also okay if somebody lead that coalition without your leader?
Thank you very much, Dr. Suare. Um, uh, Almost every Gambian is talking about coalition, coalition, coalition. Yes, that's their belief. For us, we believe a single party can be able to win election, provided that Gambians are sensitized. Because, like, if you check the number of the people voters in Omga, I can tell you for free, majority of them are illiterates or people who do not know their rights from their privilege or do not know their responsibilities. That's why I talk about civic education, which is very important. Sensitize people to know their rights, their privileges, and their responsibilities. So we believe that if we continue what we are doing, we can be able to win the hearts of many Gambians. But nonetheless, if, say for example, come 2026, and almost all opposition parties see story that it is only a coalition that can be able to win, and we are invited, my brother, for the interest of this nation, for the interest of this country, we will join the coalition in order to see that President Barrow is removed from office, because we feel he is not the right person or the most qualified person for that position.
And not only that, but he has exhausted his two term that the Gambian people wanted.
Exactly.
Okay. So now I pass it to Sam, Caesar, to close us up. Sam, if you have any
Yeah,
question
yeah.
for
I'm glad you asked that question because that's what I was going to ask you if they would be willing to join a coalition because in the Gambia it's going to be very difficult. It can happen. It can happen. A very strong political party can take out a sitting government. That can happen, but it's going to be very rare. And in the situation that we're in, with all small political parties and groups coming up, it will be best for the interest of the country to have one party to represent the coalition, or not one party, one person represent the coalition by having all these movements and parties come together and choose a flag bearer. And within that, they could, in choosing a flag bearer, they could really go into a debate, like a presidential debate or a debate where they will debate, and then after the debate, then they go to primaries and elect one person that could lead them, and they all follow that person and work side by side with that person until they win. But otherwise, it's gonna be very difficult. But anyway, I just want to thank you. I want to thank our guests for today and really taking the time to be here and talk about what is happening and getting to know this new movement. I did not even know that there's a movement like this. I didn't know about them or hear anything about them. So having somebody on a talk show, this is a good opportunity for you also to being here and talking about your movement. I think is a good thing. So you can expose your movement out there for people like me that never heard about your movement, and today I know that there's another movement. So, but thank you so much. One thing I can say for sure: Gambia is a small country. It should be easy to develop if we can control corruption. If we can control corruption with the right leadership, we should be able to move our country forward because we're way behind time and we don't have any more time to waste. We cannot select any leader that's going to come in and just run as business as usual. Gambia has passed that. That is not going to take us anywhere. We want very strong leaders that have the capabilities and the experience and the knowledge to rule a country like Gambia. That's what we're going to need. So, but thank you, and thank you, Dr. Sawaneh, as well.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
Sam
Sam,
Ceesay.
and thank you. And we're gonna let our guest, the spokesperson, for the change front political movement. Yeah. So to come in, Atab Jaiteh, to sum up the discussion on this talk show. Hatab, your final words.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Suare. Thank you very much, Sam Ceesay. I really appreciate you people for giving me time to come into this platform and try to sell our agendas to Gambian people. Sincerely speaking, I wish every Gambian could see our policies and programs. We have very, very good policies and programs, and I believe if those policies and programs are implemented, definitely it will take the Gambia from point A to point B. But nonetheless, we will try everything humanly possible to make sure that we reach to every household or every community to sell our agendas. We do not hold any grievances against any Gambians. We see Gambians as our own brothers. The difference between us and other political parties is that we believe we have the right leadership to transform this country, to change this country, to take this country from point A to point B. And we believe among all the opposition parties or opposition movements, we believe we are the right candidate because of our policies and programs and how we're going to implement them. Sincerely speaking, we believe we are the best. But nonetheless, we will tell this to every Gambian also that if there is a need for a grand coalition in which the main aim and objective is to make sure that to unseat President Barrow, our movement is more than willing to join other opposition parties to make sure we remove President Barrow come December 2026. Once again, thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you for your time, and definitely we look forward and we wish you all the best in getting out there and then be in the position to win that 2026 upcoming election. So we thank
Thank you.
you, and we thank you the whole team, and thanks to our viewers as well. Thank you,
Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Yep, thank you.
thank you, Sam, Tizi, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care, guys.